I am back at Rosie May's alpaca farm and boutique coffee shop to redo a video that I did once before, to try to get some shots here that I missed before. It's not quite open yet, so I don't have any food to feed these alpacas, but I will be shortly. You have to be careful because the sign specifically says animals may bite or kick, so we don't want any of that. I really like this place because it's set up specifically for kids. I've been here for a while, and I walked up to some alpacas here behind the coffee shop, and they really didn't give me the time of day. But then a family showed up with a couple of small kids, and as they walked up, it was mayhem as they came to the fence and just immediately tried to pawn off some food. Rosie May's Alpaca Farm and Boutique Coffee Shop, which always reminds me of fried green tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe every time I say it. It sits just across the border into Georgia in a little area called Wildwood, or near Wildwood. You have to get off the highway, and then you have to get off that road, and then you have to get off of that road before you finally wind up here. There are some horses across the street. There's alpacas here. I'm going to go in and get some feed here in a minute. But it's just nice and peaceful and quiet. I tried to get here without the kids, but I kind of miss them because their screams and yells and giggling and laughter really adds a lot to the place. Well, went inside to get some coffee. Today I have an Americano with just a little bit of cream. I did get a cheese Danish, but I have to say it was not as good as the coffee muffin I had the last time I was here. But in the time that it took to get the coffee and to eat the Danish, about 5 other cars pulled up, and now we have some kids here, and it should get a lot more interesting. I walked out here to set up this shot, and the alpacas here behind me, they must have seen this bag, because this time they all perked up and paid attention to where I was going. So this is what, make sure I've got that in the frame here, this is what alpaca feed looks like. And I'm getting ready to go feed some. Now I am told that they get really, really jealous. And if they feel like one of them is getting more feed than another, they will spit. So I have to be a little careful. The other thing they warned us about is to never approach the alpacas from above. You don't touch the top of their head because they don't like that at all. Here you go. don't seem to be too interested. Some more? Hmm? No? Okay. Don't say I didn't try. So they tell me that the ones here by the road are the males, and the ones back here behind the coffee shop are the females. And the three males over here, the brown one, poor thing, evidently is a little shy and was having trouble getting to the food because the two white ones were really hogging in. It's guys for you. Well, I almost made it through this video. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So I went back to Rosie May's alpaca farm, and I sort of had an idea what I wanted to do, and I wanted to make sure that I got video of the alpacas being fed, because that's kind of fun. And I wanted to give a little more information that I picked up, because when you go in to buy the feed, they ask you, have you ever done this before? No. Here's some things you need to know. I was using this microphone, the new one from Ulanzi, and it worked okay right up until the end. Now, one thing that I don't like about this microphone is that it records in mono. I'm sure if I put the other microphone on, I would have stereo. So I've got to change all the clips to mono or to stereo when I go into edit. I don't like that. Just throw that out there. But I was filming, and then I did a few clips where I didn't need the microphone, so I unplugged the receiver out of the phone. And when I did, evidently this microphone turned off, because that last scene of me feeding the alpacas with the families next to me, and then the scene of me sitting on the picnic table, those were both scenes where I was talking. In the first one, I was talking to the little girl next to me because she was deathly afraid of putting her hand out there for the alpacas to eat out of. And she would put it out there for a little bit. When the alpaca would come up to her, she would drop all the food back up. And, you know, I mean, she was afraid. It was cute, but she was afraid. And so I was talking to her, and in the last scene at the picnic table, I actually did my closing statement of the video. I turned to the camera to talk to the camera, had to cut all that out because there was nothing. With this receiver plugged into the phone and the microphone turned off, it records nothing in audio. It is nothing. So anyway, I made the best of it I could at the end. The other thing I will say is that I filmed all of this in ProRes Log as an experiment so that I could sort of play with trying to get it to be more vibrant in the edit, which I think I did. You know, you compare this scene to the rest of the video, this one's just being shot in a regular camera format. All the rest of it was done in ProRes Log. So it does make a huge difference, I think, visually. I'm not ready yet to film everything in ProRes Log, but I will start that sometime toward the last half of the year, into the last half of the year, maybe the last quarter of the year, because starting in January, when I do one video a week that's actually planned and maybe scripted, and I have shots lined up and all that, I will want all of that to be done in ProRes log. So that's neither here nor there. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. It was almost pulled off. I may have to go back again at some point, but I came close. We'll see you tomorrow.